Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Last Call BBS, where today we are continuing 20th Century Food Court. And I gotta say, I'm like very pleasantly surprised by how much game this is. And I guess I mean that about both this particular game within the collection and the collection as a whole. Like when you hear, a company released a thing and it's actually 8 games in one, I don't know, maybe this isn't the case for everybody, but as a person who grew up in like the era of shareware discs and stuff, you think, oh, these are all going to be like tiny little things, just like almost proof of concept. But even though one of the activities in here is the model builder, which first of all is not really a game in any sense, and secondly is only has 3 models, and there's like 2 different kinds of solitaire, there's still a lot to this whole package. I'm very pleased with it. There's a lot of meat here, just as there is in the commissary. And in both of those circumstances, probably, the meat's mostly a metaphor. Sort of colloquially, we'll refer to it as meat. All right. So I went and I grabbed a screenshot of this because the game does not actually make it super easy to remember which thing is which. So I have on my other monitor right now, this bit here, so we know what comes out where. So we need to microwave burgers and pizza, fry anything else that comes out of, fry everything except the liquids. And then of course there's the milk. So how is this actually set up? We have a freezer that all of the food comes out of, and then we have a milk machine. Do we know here? I'm gonna really quickly. How many things do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Really quickly, I'm going to verify whether everything has the same cook time. Okay, so on start, fire this. Nope, there we go. I kind of wish there was a wire toggle button, and when you're holding it, you can only affect the wires, so that if your mousing accuracy is poor, like mine is, things can just work. Okay. Yes, everything has a 4-unit cook time. A 4-cycle cook time, I should say. Okay, good to know. So we know we need a microwave, we know we need a fryer. And because everything has a 4-unit cook time, we can create a single piece of logic to run these. Although, how many of them? It's the pizza and the burger that get microwaved. So the Tuesday and the Friday meal can, in theory, run the microwave and the fryer simultaneously. But doing so won't actually improve our performance on the histograms, because performance on the histograms is determined by your longest cycled meal. Or whatever your longest cycle order was. That said, we could do like 2 fryers. Yeah, we could do a microwave and 2 fryers, and that way we can always be cooking the food basically in parallel. If speed is the primary concern, and for me, it is. I don't know if you've noticed how I've been trying to optimize things generally. So how would I... How do I want to actually set this up, though? And then, like, the milk machine is 100% trivial. I guess we can logic up the milk machine really fast. So what I need is... We're probably going to need... Well... I was thinking maybe we need a multi-mixer for each day, but actually maybe it's better to run it as sequencers. Because we know like we just have a couple of sequences of things that have to fire. Yeah, okay, maybe it's better to do... Sequencer is 5 multi-mixers in price. Yeah, let's set it up as multi-mixers. So each one of these days is going to have a bunch of outputs. And then we're also going to need 2 multi-mixers actually for this machine. One of which dispenses the plain milk, one of which dispenses the chocolate. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do plain milk. And on the others, we do chocolate. Okay. And you know what? I feel like maybe this could be a little bit less tangly if I set it all up here. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right. And then we have room up here for another multi-mixer to build off of start, if that's a thing we need to do. And these 5 will accumulate additional exits. Okay, so that's all done. Other things we know we're going to need for sure. There will be a stacker. So we have the freezer. Let me move everything over here so we have room to build the freezer complex. So we have the freezer. We need to do some logic here, right? Actually, this is probably like a router. Because we don't need it to hold anything. Yeah, and that's it, right? Because there's no reason to have this stuff come out that high up. Okay. So. This is if we just want to run it with the fryer like that. It is potentially the case that it would be sensible to set up a second fryer so we could run the recipe in the 2 fryers simultaneously on Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, which are the days where both the entree and the side are fried. Also, I should probably swap these, I'm realizing. Because the default, like every order has a thing that goes to the fryer, so we can start with the through and save ourselves an instruction. So we always want to dispense the side first. And we can construct the order here. So I need 2 multi-mixers for this stage. On Monday, crinkle cut fries. On Tuesday, the tot abomination. On Wednesday, also the tot abomination. On Thursday, curly fries, and that's the only day that does curly fries. So that can be unmixed. Okay. So that stuff all spawns. Go straight through, and then we can rig up the timer logic for the fryer down here, which is very simple and straightforward. On sense, -1, you know, set it to thing. I probably want this to happen on dispensing of the food, right? Instead of on start, in case we have to. Well, we're going to. Yeah, if we're gonna run parallel fryers, it doesn't matter. I was thinking we want the instructions to be contained to the module that does the frying if we're potentially going to use the same fryer twice in sequence, because we'll have to reset the values. But this is fine. Yeah, sorry. That's right. For timing reasons, this has to go after the... All right, at this point, I'm never even figuring out which instructions run before and after the eject. Oh, I didn't... Ha! The problem is I didn't rig up the 0 to the eject. Not that I had the count wrong. Okay, cool. So that's most of a machine right there. Do I want it to go that way? Hold on. Trying to think about, like, routing speed and stuff here. I guess actually probably makes more sense for this to be up here so it's, like, completely out of the way. I'm wondering if it makes more sense. I'm trying to figure out how we're going to minimize overall cycles. So, like, if we put the third row of stuff here, then the items coming out of the freezer here are going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cycles. So if we go this way, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, because of the fact that you're moving 1 off of the center row and then 2 back, or vice versa, 2 off of the center row and then 1 back. And we're always going to have to do that. So actually, maybe it makes more sense for it to be like this. I was trying to equalize the length of the paths, but and actually, this is kind of cool because we can actually run both of the fryers off of the same command here, because we will necessarily be, and it doesn't matter if we oops, it doesn't matter if we fire the eject command on the wrong fryer, right? I don't think. This is going to cause a collision. So actually, I don't even know if this is faster, because this is going to cause a collision anytime there are 2 fried items. So we're gonna have a 1 cycle slowdown built into it anyway. Whatever, it's fine. Okay, so I guess that means that on start we fire a left. I could rearrange this. I mean, the fryer thing, yeah, actually don't do that. The fryer thing, one of the things in the fryer always goes through. This way we don't have that 1 cycle collision on anything, because one of them goes up that way, one of them goes down that way. So this is probably a little bit faster. And firing eject on a fryer that doesn't have anything in it, okay, doesn't break anything. The machine does not complain. Okay. Easy enough from there. So we will need 1 more multi-mixer for the chicken tender input because 2 different days go run that. But aside from that, actually, this is not too bad. Okay, so Monday and Thursday. Wait, sorry, that's the start. Monday and Thursday both call for a chicken tender. Tuesday is a burger. Wednesday is a corn dog. Friday is pizza day. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I guess I could have also known because each one of these things has to end up with three outputs. Okay, so all of that stuff dispenses. No, it doesn't. Problem. Too many active roots. Or too many active instructions. So we do end up needing a sequencer for each day then. There's actually no way to avoid it. Because we have to... Well, I mean, we could avoid it. The way we would avoid it is by building in a counter for each day as well. But how do we... Yeah. It's like, okay, if I built in a counter for each day... Does each day need a counter? We could have one counter that we can have a 1 cycle counter that fires on 0. It's just like on start it gets +1, and then it gets decremented by something. How do we count time? I could have there be something on the first. Yeah, is there a way to get... If I don't have this be one of these, if I have it be a if I have it be a sorter instead, then we can use the sensor on the sorter to -1 this thing. Yeah. So... And then... The idea is when the counter is 0, we fire the second piece of food, and the firing of the second piece of food decrements the counter to -1 and turns off the instruction. So we never have to we never end up actually having to worry about it firing again. So this is effectively a thing, right? So when it senses decrement but also do a through command, just go ahead and fire it on through. And then how do we rig that up? So then at the 0 moment, I guess... see, the logic for this gets pretty complicated, though, because I then need to also store what day it was, because this command is no longer... This situation is no longer... The light is no longer on after the first cycle, right? So shit. Wait. Yeah, those are fine. It's these top wires. I want to delete all these top wires. Yeah, after the initial cycle, the daylight turns off. So actually, we'd end up doing a ton of wiring. It may actually just be better to use 5 sequencers. It's certainly simpler, but it might in the end up being cheaper as well, because we end up just running so many things. So, okay, let me let me effectively start our wiring over, because a lot of stuff is going to change. We're not going to use this. We don't need a sorter anymore. I think it will be simpler to use a router now. This stuff's all still fine. Okay, so that's really annoying. I want all these to be on the same line. It just makes the most sense to me if they're all in the same line, you know? I guess you can be the other thing that's on that line. Okay, so on Monday. Oh, the start multi-mixer probably is still necessary. For right now, it's only doing this, and if that ends up being the whole thing, obviously we'll just delete it and do a direct wire. On Tuesday, instead, run this one. Because it's a pretty small instruction set, really. So actually, the way we want to do this is we want to dispense whatever's going to cook on the outside rail first. Right, so 1, 2. On cycle 2, both of the food things are here. On cycle 3, they entered this. They entered this row. Then they cook for the rest of the cycles. Cycle 1 post-cook, they're all right here. We don't have any collision because this slides out as this slides in. Yeah. Which means, actually, that this is also the ejector for the oven. Yeah, all of these devices run off of the same tiny little instruction set. That rules. Okay, so at the beginning, we dispense the foods. One thing that is interesting that I note is that the crinkle instruction always also fires chocolate milk. None of the other doubled up food is paired with any of the same objects, but we might be able to save a little bit of space. We're gonna be able to save ourselves like one multi-mixer. Because the crinkle cut fries are only fired twice, and both times they're with chocolate milk. Unfortunately, we can't completely pair those processes because the chocolate milk does get fired without the crinkle cut fries once. That's a bummer. Okay, anyway. So this is like, it's like the 3 food items, right? Actually, sorry. The milk and the milk and one food item get fired together. The second food item gets fired here. And then do we need this to do anything else? I guess like we can make D the eject stacker function, and we can work the routing in with one of the other functions. So let's have this stuff go down here for the moment. How much routing am I going to have to do here? So on each of these, let's make B the milk. Just run that directly across. So here it's chocolate. Oh, right. Sorry. Milk multi-mixers. And it alternates, actually. It's very straightforward. Okay. A is the entree. So we need a multi-mixer for the tenders. We knew that. That also fires on Thursday. And then this is burger. This is corn dog. This is pizza. Then on C, we fire Thursday gets the curly fries. Yeah, it doesn't end up mattering that we only fire crinkle fries if the chocolate milk is also being fired, because the thing that we would be saving with that is signal space inside the sequencer, which we don't need because each sequencer only has 4 signals anyway. A maximum of 4 signals. Okay, so this is Crinkle, which also runs on Friday. And then this is the Monster Tot. And really, aren't they all? And then I think the routing should just work. And the question is, do we have enough cycles here for everything to get to the stacker? This is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 for cooking. I mean, we can just run it. Oh, I don't have the routing in place. Oops. I forgot. So when I run so all of the B instructions need to run to the through router, which is going to add a multi-mixer. And then actually we also need, we'll also need multi-mixers for left and for right because everything gets run in more than one place. Yeah, so what are it's the burger and the burger and the pizza that need us to do a left. So burger and pizza are, okay, Friday's multi-mixer. Actually, this is a problem. Well, it's not that much of a problem. We just have to have routing, and so we can. How do I want to do this? We can have the routing instructions be the D channel and just have the ejector run, you know, in a different way. Yeah, I think that's fine. We actually, like, the frustrating thing about this is we definitely want through to be the second state. We wanted to do something else first. But it is a real bummer that it works this way. Okay, what we can do, actually, I'm trying to minimize the number of machines we're running here. We can go on start, try to run both of these. Each of them are fed by, maybe that doesn't work. Because we're actually going to run out of space, right? The problem I'm having here that I think I haven't actually said out loud even once, but that I'm trying to work through in my head is we're actually just going to run out of space on the racks. There's a lot of multi-mixers. So we need to fire left or right on cycle 1 every single time. we also need to fire through on cycle 2 every single time. And I think maybe actually the most space efficient way to do that is going to be to have a separate sequencer for this. So right, B is just through. Because if we try to do a multi-mixer that runs from every one of the day sequencers to the through command, we end up needing more than one multi-mixer for it because that's 5 inputs. So what we can do instead is just have an always input. And then we do a... I mean, this is pretty tricky. Hey, can I use these outputs as enablers? Stop. Okay. Let me just see something. Oh, you do have to, right, I should probably, instead of picking one at random, I should pick the one that's actually going to fire in the test case. Yes, okay. So the D column on this thing can be the set for the routing information. If we don't do that, we end up having to make 2 more multi-mixers to run like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday to one of them to enable here. So yeah, the D column is the routing information for this. So no, but I still end up needing, it doesn't actually change anything. I still need the multi-mixers because 3 of the days enable one route and 2 of the days enable the other route. Shit. And we don't have room for any more stuff. I have to figure out a better way to do this. What if it's like... Yeah, each... This way they can be naive multi-mixers, right? Each day either sends left or right. So Monday is the other fryer. Tuesday is the microwave. Friday is the microwave. Okay, this is a little messy. And by a little messy, I mean tremendously messy. So these run to the microwave. These run to that. And then on cycle 2, there's a... on cycle 2, there's just a through. That sucks and is expensive, but it is the thing. And then I have to... yeah, we have to fire the eject command at some point. Wait, why did that not work? Oh, because start is not getting called. Yep, that'll do it. Okay. Right, I think that runs just in time. And then I think this machine will just work for everything. Yeah, okay. That felt a little weird. And obviously, like, the fact that it uses up the whole rack is... it's a little silly considering, like, the very small amount of actual routing that's going on. But sequencers are a really good solution to timing problems. And we have a lot of timing problems on this puzzle. Why is it gray? Why do the potatoes come out gray? I have made and eaten a lot of potatoes in my life, and gray is just not a color that you had to do something to make them. Okay, whatever. Kingfisher 999, 4 stars. Really eye-opening and educational experience. Can't believe they used to subject children to this barbaric practice called school. Yeah, me neither. Bubba G loves those trays. 4 stars for the trays. And Crystal Lyman says, 3 stars. It's totally nuts how much of ancient society was built around food. Well, I mean, the food court parts, certainly. Somebody did it faster than I did. How? Hold on. We're going to take a quick look here. So this is the minimum size for this rig, right? +1. How would you design this such that it didn't need so much space? Because there has to be a router, and there has to be a place where they rejoin. I guess, does there? Well, you know, even if they don't rejoin, even if they do just go directly onto the belt, it's not actually faster in the case where you have to use the microwave, or the microwave is placed in our setup, and your cycle time is determined by the longest order. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how somebody got it faster. This feels very optimized to me. I guess if you had the... What you could do to speed it up, because look at this. The first instruction in the sequencers doesn't run until cycle 2. So you could speed this up by 1 cycle if you had the spawning logic not be handled by the sequencers. So some version of that, some version of the original solution that we ran. How would you do that? Like we had it going before. You could use a sensor here, a sorter sensor as the way to fire the second ingredient on the second cycle without having to worry about timing. That could also handle it could also handle this, so you don't need any routing logic because the sorter has the router built inside of it. So it's just it's one left or right, and then the second part is always through. We're gonna go ahead and leave this like this. I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to get us into this bracket, because I am very curious. For now, though, we're gonna leave it. Da Wings. Is this a reference to how old is that? How old is the SNL Da Bears sketch? Is that what's happening here? Because I'm trying to think about whether that makes sense with the time frame that the game is supposed to be set in. Like, you know, when the Sawayamas were out and everything. I don't know, whatever. The buffalo wing was thought to lend its wings of victory to gladiators in the arena. The more wings one could eat, it was said, the greater chance one's own team would win. This sometimes resulted in excessive consumption, and death by wing was not uncommon. I'm gonna be honest with you. I had some wings today, and I definitely feel like I might die. I did overcommit for sure. So slice the chicken, and then slice the chicken some more. Fry the cutlets, fry the legs, coat them with sauce. Okay. So a 3-piece is made out of 1 chicken. A 6-piece requires 2, because you're going to get 4 pieces per chicken. So a 6-piece requires 2 chickens, and 9 pieces. 9 pieces requires you to get 3 chickens, and then you throw away most of the 3rd chicken. Yeah, we're gonna get like a garbage. Hold on. Let me actually see how this goes in practice. I'm actually really curious about this. Well, it's only the thing that comes out the left side that gets routed back in. Yeah, this stuff goes down here where I'm just buying space. Okay. Okay. Oops. First of all, wasn't thinking about that. Secondly, on start, chicken, please. Okay, it does. It disposes of the rest of the chicken for you. That's the thing that was not entirely clear from the little GIF in the instructions section. Okay, so that being the case, you don't have to worry about the waste of the chicken. But we are going to have to throw away 2 chicken pieces on 6-piece order and 3 chicken pieces on the 3-piece order, right? So we have to have 3. Oh, ratio does not, it says right here, ratio does not matter. It can be 6 legs and 3 cutlets. Okay, so that doesn't change anything though. That just means we don't have to be very careful with our routing. Cutlets and legs fry in the same amount of time. They coat with sauce. Okay, so I probably should do this kind of stuff on the left so that we can have the thing rigged up right there. Sorry, didn't mean to do that. The slicer is actually critically important. So the idea is you need this at least, right? Man, I'm clumsy. Slicer does not get deleted. I wish I could lock it. Okay, you need room for this. You need to loop the chicken back around into the slicer. Then both of these parts end up in the fryer. But you could absolutely parallel fry them, right? And we could do the thing like we did last time where we just run the timer identically out of them. And then they both end up in that thing, and there you go. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of dead space in this routine. You'd like them to go from the fryer to this thing as quickly as possible. You want to eliminate travel time. If we're trying to accelerate this as much as possible, it's better to just use another slicer, right? That's going to go pretty fast. Nothing comes out the left side of this slicer. So you have 4 fryers. And if you run the fryers like this, you have a little bit of a weird, right? Because this is gonna finish. So this thing's your timing bottleneck. What if I? The left side of this is empty. I'm just thinking, we don't necessarily even need 4 fryers, do we? I think it can just be 2. Because oh, I have this backwards. I was like, why is that not working? But yeah, that'll explain it. Because we only need 2 cycles to cook a thing, so the time for stuff to emerge from the second slicer is going to be enough. It's going to be fast enough. So I actually want this, I think, to be up 1. And the idea is you run like... How do I route this? Because I want 1 piece from the first slicer to run to fryer A, 1 piece of the second slicer to run to fryer B, and then the same deal from the second slicer. No, it probably is faster to do it while facing the other direction. Right, because this way the first output is up top. Sorry, I know this is very silly optimization. So if I do like... How would we have 1 belt run to each of 2 fryers? Maybe it is better that we just have each meaningful output just run directly into a fryer. Oh, right. Sorry. They all have to run into this, though. What am I doing? Now, see, what I don't love about that is the amount of time that it takes this thing to get around. This, for each chicken, this thing is a bottleneck. Now, on the 3rd chicken, we can just throw this away. Right, so like this is a router. We actually need... Well, no, we want to keep the one fastest one. So actually, this is a router. This piece of chicken always goes into the machine. And then we need, at the very least, 3 waste baskets. Yeah. Okay. This is going to be slow. I'm wondering if there's a way to speed it up. So we can just reduce the total amount of routing, right? This ends up being faster. The thing about this, and then this is a router. The thing about this is it's going to take a little bit more rack space probably because we can't run all of the... We have to have 2 different timers for the fryers. No, we have to have 3 different timers for the fryers. 1 timer can run fryer D, 1 runs C and B, and 1 runs A. Because A is going to start on cycle 4. D starts on 2, C and B both start on 3. Okay. This is, yeah, it's a weird one. Okay, so B and C can be grouped together. We can run sequencers to handle this too. It doesn't have to be timers. So the default on all of these is like at start, they all get called to left, right? No, we are throwing away chicken even in the first case. There's no case where no chicken gets thrown away. So on start, we call B and C to left some of the time. We call A, B, and C to left some of the time. That's complicated. So chicken. Do I just want to run sequencers? Sequencers are very like logic simple, which I do like. And if you're doing anything that's even remotely complicated with the logic, they also save you space by being able to run timing logic and actual instruction logic simultaneously. So like, let me move these for a moment. So like that's all chicken instruction. I guess this can all be here. All right. All of those run to make chicken. You do have to, that's the other thing that can be on this. Well, I guess actually, yeah, these all run from different, sorry. I was going to set up a start multi-mixer to fire all these, but you do not want to fire all of them at once. All right, so we eject here, eject here, eject here. That's really, that's a little awkward, isn't it? Because what you end up with is you end up with a weird traffic jam problem here, where everything's trying to go down right as the space in front of it fills up. It's pretty bad news. So some number of chickens. In addition, we need to fire like an initial routing step. Yeah, gosh, this is complicated. So it's like, with the one chicken, you have one routing step. It just sets certain fryers to dump. With the second chicken, you need a routing change, right? You want to cook that whole first chicken to maximize time. And then when the second chicken parts start hitting the fryer, you need to modify which sorters go into the rubbish. Maybe I was right to have it the other way around. What I was thinking is I want later pieces to be lower, so that they get created later, they get fried later, but they have a shorter path to make up for it. But the way this stuff times out, everything just breaks down, right? If we run it the other way, and like you either have the early pieces going in while the later pieces are going into the rubbish, which is a slow process that still involves the collision, or you have the later pieces going into the rubbish and the earlier pieces going into the thing, which would first of all require some rerouting, but secondly would also mean that it would mean that the pieces that are actually going to the belt have the longest possible path. If we want to minimize our time per actual used chicken piece, we do want the earliest pieces to be the one going to the belt, and we want that traffic jam not to happen. So I think we actually want this thing to be facing the other direction. Also, the whole machine's in the wrong place, I just realized, because this can't be here, it has to be here, because this is where the stacker goes. So, apologies everyone. Let's rebuild that one more time. So I think all this stuff goes up here. No, left. Okay. Yeah. So we're gonna run these fryers in a way that makes more sense. Sorry, the fryers have to be up here, which means these are like this. Yeah. Right, that's proper routing. So the D piece of chicken always goes in, and it's, I know what that sounds like, but it's the fastest one. It always goes on the tray. Then you run a bunch of logic on whether the A piece ever makes it in. The A piece only actually makes it into the chicken once on the 6 piece and twice on the 9 piece. I'm having a thought. No, that doesn't work. I was going to say, what if we only used 1 piece of each chicken and we just potentially went up to 9 chickens? Because you could really simplify the routing logic if you're just using the same cutlet off of each chicken. But the problem with that is each rubbish basket can only hold 1 discarded product, right? Oh, you're only allowed to have 3 of these also. Yes, usable once per order. This puzzle specifically has a limit of 3. But you would have to, if you tried to do that, you'd have to institute routing logic for each piece of garbage chicken because of the fact that you can only use each rubbish basket once, and you would end up needing a very large number. You need like 27 rubbish bins. So yeah, not a real plan. Okay, this one's going to take a little bit more time to develop, I can tell. So chicken, chicken, chicken. This, and we can't run it like this. We need a little bit more time because, like, in the case of this thing, right? That second chicken is hitting too early. So it's gonna end up being like A, and then this one's gonna be like A. Probably. So we can run logic for the fryers. It's probably a good idea to run logic for the fryers. I was debating whether we wanted to just include eject commands for the fryers into the sequencer. We just handle that all in the timing, but if we do that, we don't have any outputs left for routing, and I think the routing is actually much more important to put in the sequencers. So it's like BC. You know what? Let's make D the chicken command, and that way we can have the routers. We can have each of the routers have its letter be its command in the sequencers. And that just makes life a little bit easier for readability's sake. Okay, so that's how you get your chicken. Then we have multiplexers for... We have like a lot of multiplexers for this stuff. What are we actually going to need? So A is going to need to run a particular command. Well, what am I talking about? We do not need to run commands directly from each sequencer to each of the routers. What we need to do is have like a set command. So like this set command is, and we end up needing additional multiplexers here because you're going to need one for each you need one for each instruction that's going to be fired on each of the routers, right? None of them ever say left, so that's fine. But let's see here. Let's actually work it out. So the initial routing instruction for A, what does it do? It wants B and C to be right. It wants A to be through. So it doesn't have to send an instruction to A. Yeah. But right, we want this. So the reason we need additional multi-mixers, we can't just do this thing, because we also have to call the rights on these from the other routines. So each one of these has to do that. And then it's like, this is going to call, this thing's A is going to be that. This thing's B, when that chicken happens, is going to be this. And its A is everything is right. This is going to have to be right for A. And then its B is C remains right, but A and B become throughs. Sorry, this needs to be down here. This is some of the through commands. All right, so on B, it's A and B become through. It's a little inconvenient to run it this way. Yeah, so A and B become through. Then this thing does that routing. So we don't actually need a sequencer for the 3-piece. We can set one initial condition. This could be a multi-mixer instead. That would save us a little bit of money. We can rig that in a minute. I just want to make sure that like these, I understand how these are going to work. So we do need, and in fact, we actually already have, sorry, I don't need to wire anything. We have the multi-mixer that this is. It does this. It just also fires chicken when it launches. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so the A condition for this is actually the same as the A condition for the other one. We can just reuse that. So that saves us a mixer. The B condition for this is actually unchanged. Yeah, this actually is less complicated than I was thinking. The C condition for this one is everything is through. So that could be a connection here, because that's the only time we have to fire that. And then also this through, and then also this through. And so this, which makes A go to the right, is actually only ever fired once. We can save a little bit of metal right there. A bunch of these get pulled twice. But okay, that basically works. And then we have to do the fryer logic, right? So I'm gonna need a counter for the stacker. It's probably a good way to do this. So on start, we can give the stacker +3, right? And then here's the -1. Actually, since these only work in groups of 3, what we can do is start +3, and then this can also fire the +3, and this can also fire the +3. So I don't even need a fancy counter. This could be a normal counter because we don't have to track we don't have to track a bunch of different numbers. And on 0 eject. Okay. So then the fryer logic. We just need each fryer needs its own dedicated counter. Oh, do they have to be big counters though? They might have to be big counters. Because we have to have a reset button on each of them as well, right? Yeah, so I think we end up needing 3 large counters. There we go. This is a really goofy way to do this. So the idea is you run a +2. Well, I guess if we're sequencing this right, it should be a +2 on chicken spawn. Is it? No, because the chicken, like in many cases, the chicken will spawn before in like the A fryer. We don't even have this chicken spawns the second chicken spawns before the first chicken's piece has reached the A fryer. So each one of them needs different timing on its addition logic. How do we handle that? Both of our sequencers have open spaces. So is it possible that we use a sequencer for this? Each chicken spawn is a sequence of eject actions, and it's the same sequence of eject actions each time, right? Because it could be the chicken comes out, 1, 2, 3, eject fryer C, right? On 4, eject B and D, and on 5, eject A. That's what happens each time a chicken spawns. Spawns. You know what I mean. That happens each time a chicken is output. So... how do we... The problem again is... we can't have this thing triggered by the chicken reaching here. It has to be triggered by... because we're still going to be running some of this timer while the second chicken pieces are reaching. Like, where do I have a start multiplexer, right? Let me just show you. And also make sure that I am correct about this. Oh, I'm not including enough downtime for the startup on the other sequencers, I think. Right. I guess it's totally harmless to run the sequence again, but like this part of the sequence is what really matters. So what we actually want to do is have this be the sequencer, and we want it to just be called at with better timing. It needs to be called at a time that is relative to the spawn of each chicken. So it's like each time we spawn a chicken, spawn. It's so weird to say spawn a chicken. That's definitely not the right the right phraseology here. So after the chicken comes out, this is the step we want to start this sequencer on, right? Okay, let me do something else here. Let's have this be a stop command. We will fire it here. We'll add in a multi-mixer. So the B command is now both of these ejects. And we will run a startup multi-mixer here. Okay, let me see how this looks. So that runs, and it stops. Actually, what I want is to look at this order. I want to make sure the timing on this actually works. Okay, so we run the... why is that not actually firing? Oh, because I'm not... silly me. It does have to... It has to run here as well. This doesn't look right. Am I missing routing information here? Okay, so that begins the ejection sequencer. The ejection sequencer starts running. Ah, see, start and stop are being called on the same cycle. Oh no, that's totally working, though. So yeah, okay. We are missing routing information. I did the routing incorrectly. I can look at this and see that it's wrong. The A is not connected to anything. So the initial routing situation here is everything to the right, which is everything to the right is... I did not wire this in a way that's easy to read. So it's this one. Yeah, so sorry, this is supposed to call... Yeah, that makes sense. It's the same A as this one is. Okay. Oh, right. Sorters don't work that way. You can't have a... Ugh, shit. Well, that breaks everything, doesn't it? Yeah, you can see the plan, but yeah, it's the physical construction of these objects is problematic. How would I fix this problem? Because the deal is we need the sorter. We need the sorters to work this way. And then we have to like... Each sorter needs the rubbish bin right next to it. Like left or right has to be the garbage command, and through has to go to the belt that does this. which means I would need to spread this out more in a way that makes it not fit on the screen. Yeah, this solution's just never going to work, actually. I wasn't even thinking about the fact that you can't send stuff. Opening up the right divider on the sorter does not let objects enter it from the left and go through to the right, which is how it was working in my head. Bloody hell. Okay. I think I came up with some stuff that's probably like logically salvageable here, but the whole belt part of it doesn't work, and that means all of the specifics of the logic are going to have to be rebuilt at the very least. This was not a viable solution. All right, I'm not going to try to come up with a new beginning to this process 75 minutes into the episode. This right here is where we're going to call it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time tomorrow, we're just going to start this whole wing making process all over again. And hopefully the fact that I don't have a body packed completely full of wings is going to somewhat aid that process. I think the problem is there's chicken in my brain right now. And I don't know if you know this, chickens, not nature's smartest animal, it turns out. Anyway, come back next time for that, and we'll see you then.